guys, welcome back to my channel and a part 2 about the truth of being a real estate agent. The last video I did on this kind of got people thinking and it sparked a lot of discussion. And so today I'm hoping to do a part 2 of just being completely honest, truthful, and basically blunt about this career, what to expect. And so I'm going to dive into all of your questions. I have them here on my computer. In all honesty, I have not reviewed these questions. So these are going to be very honest, top off of my head, and hopefully give you guys some more insight about this career. So let's hop right on into it. Question number 1 says, how to get leads as a solo agent. So as you guys know, and as we discussed in my last video, when you come into real estate, you can take 2 different paths. You can work as a solo agent, simply meaning you're self-employed, you work for yourself and yourself only, or you can join a team and be represented by that team and work with them in doing business. Now, as a solo agent, it's all on you, right? To find clientele, to prospect, to, keep your pipeline filled, as they say in real estate. So my short answer really is you have to figure out what works for you. When you get into real estate, you're going to hear a million different ways of getting real estate. Farming, geographical farming, social media work, videos, door knocking, cold calling, expired listings, for sale by owner listings, working your sphere. There's a million different things. You have to figure out what works for you and what reflects and represents who you are as a person and as a salesperson in real estate. So for me personally, I'm really big into video work. So I've been doing videos all the time now for the entire time that I've been in real estate. It's helped me get clientele. I've also targeted expired listings, but found my own niche into doing that because I hate cold calling and I hate door knocking. That's a personal preference. Now, I know people that kill it with door knocking and kill it with cold calling, and they're doing extremely well with that route. So you have to do a little self-reflection and figure out what works best for you and what's something that you can stick with for a long consecutive time, because it's not going to happen overnight. You need to be able to do it over and over and over and over again and just keep working at it, and eventually it will pay off. Question number 2 says, do you have a base pay? Do you have to go into work Monday through Friday? Do you get vacation time? How do you choose your hours? So all of those 4 questions kind of correlate one another. To answer the first question, no, you do not have a base pay. You're self-employed. You're an independent contractor. So you work on commission only. Now, some teams, they have their own system, and that's something that you would have to discuss with particular teams. But 99% of people that I know are commission only. You don't get hourly, you don't get salary, you don't get benefits, you don't get health insurance. You're a full, self-employed individual. You have to work hard for your money, and that's why you have to be very smart about, real estate, because you can make a lot of money 1 month and go 6 months without making a check. So that's where financial planning comes into play. Do you go to work Monday through Friday? People joke about I want to quit my 9 to 5 and then, be an entrepreneur. I want to run my own business. The reality is the minute you go into any career that you're running your own business, you're working 24/7. And I'm not joking. I work every single weekend, Saturday and Sunday, because, this is a service business. This is a business where primarily your schedule is working around your client's availability and your client's schedule. So I work Monday through Sunday, and I work evenings, I work mornings, I will take phone calls at 10 p.m. It's up to you and setting your own boundaries. I know that some real estate agents won't, pick up the phone after a certain hour, but realistically in this career, you have to be accessible, you have to be available, you have to be in a position where people can reach out to you and depend on you. Do you go into the office? That's a you choice. You know, some people work best at home. Some people love to go to the office. My schedule is I love to work in the office, but I'm also always running around with appointments and going to showings and inspections and all of this stuff. And so when I have time in between, then I'll go to the office to help keep my focus going strong. Vacation time, you're self-employed. Again, if you want to take a vacation on a Monday morning, you could totally leave town and go on vacation. You just have to keep in mind that you know, if you have deals going and, you know, deadlines and clients, that you have someone in town that can be a support system for them if you're not reachable. How do you choose your hours? Your clients will choose your hours, essentially. But again, you work 24/7 in this career. There's never really an off time. A client will call you at any time of the day. And if you were a good agent, you would be taking those calls. Question number 3 is, how do you create a healthy work and life balance? I'm probably the wrong person to ask that question. That is something that I am also personally struggling with as well. As I just said, you know, I work Monday through Sunday, and typically, you know, psychologically, weekends are times that people feel more at peace with resting. But, you know, in real estate, people are, you know, you're working on the weekends. And so oftentimes your downtime may be in the middle of the week. And I personally struggle with being able to take downtime on a weekday. So that is something that I'm working on. If anyone has any advice for that, please go ahead and comment it down below. 4th question is, how do you find a broker or a brokerage? So finding the right broker or brokerage is vital to your success. I think, you know, it's not everything, but it is the foundation of, you know, the company that you are representing. You know, who is your manager? Does that company have a good reputation? Does that company provide you resources to be successful and to run your business efficiently? So what I did, and obviously this depends where you're located in the United States, in the world, but what I did is, after I got my license, I sat down and I started researching, because I'm here based in Los Angeles. I started researching what are the most well-known and reputable companies, you know, who are the top agents in LA, and what companies do they work for. So in Los Angeles, it was Coldwell Banker, Compass, and then a few others were like The Agency, Douglas Elliman, and Sotheby's. I feel like those were the most well-known, reputable companies in my town. So from there, I reflected on, okay, what do I need as an agent? Do I need good tech? Do I need a good marketing team? Do I need training? Do I need a mentor? And from there, you create criteria for yourself, and then you start researching these different brokerages and what they have to offer you. From there, I would recommend you just directly call the manager of each brokerage. Do not be scared of calling people, period. You're in real estate, like, you need to be calling people regardless. So call them up, say, listen, I just got licensed. I, am interested in learning more about your brokerage and your office, and I would love to schedule a time to come in and interview. Now keep in mind that you may be going in to interview them, but they're also going to be interviewing you, especially if you're in a competitive area of town. For example, if you're in Beverly Hills, Brentwood, and here in Los Angeles, there are some qualifications and, qualities that these managers are looking for to bring onto their team. Next question is, how much commission have I earned? So I don't personally feel comfortable disclosing how much money I make, but I will talk about commission breakdowns and what to expect. Now, typically standard, not always, but standard is you'll receive 2.5% commission for the deal that you do. And that's typically both buyer side and seller side. Now, if you are the listing agent, you and your client are the ones that are determining the commission and what is going to the buyer's agent and what is going to yourself. Oftentimes, listing agents may take a higher commission. They may do 3%, 3.5%. It comes down to what you ultimately decide with your client. I will say though that especially in today's market right now, it is extremely competitive. A lot of agents are discounting themselves, which is unfortunate. So I personally, when I'm listing a property, I do the standard short and sweet 5% commission, 2.5% to each cooperating side. From there, you're going to have your brokerage split with your company. Now it depends where, it depends on the company, the brokerage depends on your personal agreement with the manager. Oftentimes brokerages will have commission tiers and breakdowns. So for example, if you sell 0 to 70,000, for example, you'll be at a certain commission split. And I would say the lowest I've seen is like a 70-30 split. I have heard of some brokerages doing 50-50. I would not work for them. If I were you, you need to value yourself as well. But when I started, I had a 76% split. But then keep in mind, there's also a 6% fee on top of that. So at the moment, my split, I think, is like 81%, and then 20% to my brokerage. So if you did a $1 million deal and you had a 2.5% commission, that's $25,000 in GCI, gross commission income. From there, you would take your 70 or 80% of that, and that's going to be the check that you take home. Keep in mind though, there are taxes that you do not pay upfront because you're not a W-2 employee. So you need to keep that in mind and, put some money to the side in your savings for taxes when the next year comes around. Next question. This person said, I submitted all of my requirements to my broker, but I have not heard back. How long is the wait? My answer is, why are you waiting? Call them. This is not a business where you wait to be approached. This is a business where you need to hustle. You need to put your name and face out there. You need to pursue opportunities, regardless if they're a client or a manager, a brokerage, whatever it may be. Call that person up. Listen, I want to work with your brokerage. I want to work with your company. Let me in. What can I do if you're having any hesitations? And if they say no, that's the worst thing that's going to happen. They're not going to call next door and not recommend you. You just waltz your butt over to the next place and keep trying until someone locks you in. How to consider an economic crisis, and how would you go about times where the market is pivoting and when real estate becomes tougher than it already is? There is no answer to this really. I mean, it is true, real estate is dependent on the market and how the economy is doing. Even in the 2008 recession, some agents came out on top and had their best year yet. So it's less about the economy and it's more about you. If there is a downturn in the market and things are starting to go to hell, you need to know in your gut that you're going to learn to adapt to that situation and redesign your business to target the right clients and to keep your business going. When COVID hit, everyone thought that we were about to have the next worst couple years of real estate in history, that the market was going to crash, that, this was going to be 2008 all over again. And then now we're here having the best year in real estate in probably history for sellers. So it's learning to be, flexible, to learn to adapt and to keep moving as times change. That is a key component to real estate. You can't have one cookie cutter plan to everything and expect it to work for 20 years, right? You need to constantly be changing and redesigning how you do business. I've lost count at this point what question I'm on, but I'll just read the next question. It says, I don't know if I have what it takes to be a real estate agent. What other jobs are there that involve real estate? Good question. And that's okay. I think people don't give real estate agents enough credit. It's a very tough career. And it can break you down mentally sometimes. I mean, I know I portray myself as very put together and, and I'm having a very good year, but I definitely have moments where I think to myself, what am I doing? Is this the right career? Am I making a mistake? You know, there are tough times and there are amazing times. So some other avenues of working in real estate but not being the actual selling agent yourself, you could go into marketing. A lot of real estate agents require marketing assistants or people who design and run campaigns for them, listing presentations. You could be an SSA, so basically a support system for a brokerage where you're like a receptionist slash basically an assistant to all of the agents in an office, so people can come to you about marketing or getting their signs installed or like anything really, basically running the brokerage and running the office and keeping it smooth. You could be a personal assistant to a top producing agent. I think that is also something that's really rewarding. And if you and the agent get along well, you can really become a power team. So you can be, you know, the behind the scenes, but not be the face of, you know, running the clientele. So I would say if that's something, if I had to choose one, that's what I would go for. And I would just call every top broker and agent in your city and pitch yourself and see if it's something that can go somewhere. Next question is, how did you find your mentor? So I met my mentor at my office at Coldwell Banker. And her and I basically just bonded and got really close, and it kind of naturally just happened. I know that some brokerages offer mentorship programs where you can seek a person that does mentoring for a living, but also just be present. I think that if you show the world and you show other agents who are more older and more successful in your office that you are there every day and you're hustling and you work hard and you carry yourself well and that you have potential to be successful in this business, they will recognize you. And naturally, there will be times when you have questions for many countless things, and you will start going to some people that you've created relationships with. And over time, that could also naturally turn into a mentor-mentee relationship. Do you know if YouTube videos will help generate more sales? Yes and no. I've actually only picked up one client from doing YouTube videos, but I will say that creating video content, period, whether you're posting it on LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it may be, that helps establish you as a reputable agent. It helps people get to know you. It helps people get, you know, put a face to a name to a face, and have people learn about your personality and how you do business, and for them to build trust with you. So I think doing content and posting videos wherever it may be can be extremely beneficial for you. But again, it has to be something that is reflective of you. And as we talked about earlier, sometimes social media is not everyone's cup of tea, and you want to do things more old school and door knock and cold call. That is something that you have to decide for yourself. Is my prep agent a good platform to study on? Yes, 1000%. He is who I used when I was studying for my exam. I didn't do a full course with him, but I downloaded his 7-day crash course. Basically, once I got my certification, I did that for 7 days leading up to my exam. Passed it with flying colors. So I highly, highly recommend him. Definitely go check him out. He's a YouTube channel. He has no idea I exist, but I do believe he is a really good resource for getting your license. So definitely check him out. Next question is, what are your thoughts about working a 9-to-5 while doing real estate? I'm not in a position where I feel secure enough to leave my job quite yet. I completely understand that. You know, real estate is a tough career financially. It takes time to kick off. You could go a year and a half without bringing home your first commission check, and it probably won't be very much either. So my biggest advice is have savings lined up, and at least have a year's worth of living expenses in your bank account to feel more comfortable about pursuing this career, because the last thing you want to do is be so financially desperate to pay your bills that it's translating into your business and the clients that you're meeting. Because you never want to come from a place of desperation. You want to come from a place of service, and doing that is difficult when you have bills to pay. If you need a second source of income, I would recommend quitting your 9 to 5 and doing real estate full time and then picking up a part-time job in the evenings. Real estate requires you to be accessible during the day. It's something you have to give your full focus to. So if you're at a 9 to 5, there's no way you can be running around doing showings, appointments, prospecting, being accessible for your clients. So if you do need a second source of income, definitely pick up a side job at night, hustle. I know a lot of people that have worked in restaurants, bartended, just to keep the bills paid until you finally have some commissions flowing in. Next question is, could you be successful starting your career in real estate in your 50s? 10,000%. I don't think a lot of people realize this, but real estate is a second career for a majority. I would say that 90% of the new agents that come into my office, they are 40 plus. It does play to your advantage because at this point you've had longer career experiences, life experiences, you have a bigger network, you've met people, people who are in a buying and selling position. So you can work that sphere more than, a 20-something-year-old who moves to Los Angeles to start their career in real estate. That story is also not impossible. That was my situation. So 100% you can start your career in your 50s. Yes, you can be successful. Play it to your advantage. You are in more of an advantage than you are compared to a new young real estate agent. Next question is, what apps and programs do you use to run your business? How much are your monthly fees at your brokerage and what does it cover? So with Coldwell Banker, I don't know about all brokerages, but I pay $150 a month, and that gives me access to the office, office materials, printers, all of that good stuff. Let me actually pull up what resources. They offer us a lot of resources. So let's see here. I can actually show it to you guys. So this is what we call my CB desk. And basically they have a ton of apps. So I'll go through a few of them. They have Realty. It's basically a platform you can search up any property address and get phone numbers and emails. We have our transaction management system where when you do have a transaction, that's who you're submitting your documents to and that's who's filing them for you. Zip forms, the number one thing you'll ever use in real estate. That's where you access all of the documents for any transaction that you're doing. That is also connected to a DocuSign account that you also get with Coldwell Banker. They have Listing Concierge, Moxie Present, which is basically 2 apps to help you design great marketing materials and have marketing programs as well for your listings. There's market reports, there's your office email, ton of stuff. Yeah, I mean, the list goes on. A lot of this stuff isn't really necessarily important, but it does show you, it's pages long, but you have access to a lot of resources, at least through Coldwell Banker, to help run your business smoothly. This person said, I'm 5 months into the business and I feel lost and I don't feel like I know enough. Do you have recommendations on how to become confident as an agent? It sounds cheesy, but the number one thing really is just time and experience. I'm still learning. I'm learning every single day, and every transaction I do, something new. The other day I learned about, the HVAC system and that, you can't fit it into an elevator, so it has to get craned up, and it's going to cost my client $11,000. I never knew that, and now I do for the rest of my life. So in this business, it really is just time, experience, and interacting with more people and having more experiences. If you feel like you don't know a lot, find a mentor and ask them to shadow them, go to open houses with them, watch them interact with clients, listen to them when they're interacting with clients, ask questions, be open and, take in knowledge. I would say personally for me, one thing that did help me was doing video content. And, you know, when I was new in the business, I knew that I wanted to create videos, and I knew that I wanted to do short 2-3 minute videos on Instagram where I answer common buyer and seller questions. But at the time when I was brand new, I didn't necessarily know the answers to all of those questions. So I would do my research, I would ask around with other agents, and then I would put that together in my own words and then create that video. And doing that whole process of learning and delivering is what allowed me to build my own knowledge and build my own personal confidence. So that is the last question that I have here today. I hope that gave you a little more insight and truth and honesty about this career and what to expect. It may be a difficult career, but it's also incredibly rewarding. If you have any more questions, maybe I'll do a part 3 if I get enough likes. Go ahead and comment down below if you have any questions. I will try and address them when I can. Other than that, I hope you guys have an amazing day, enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.